So what have you been looking into, Paul? I hear you.
All sorts, mate. One day it's one thing, and then another day it's another thing, and then one day it's three things. I've got like 4 or 5 projects on the go at the moment. But mainly at the moment, I've been looking at electricity devices from 1900s, early 1900s.
Nice.
I've come across a couple of magazines that are selling dynamos and stuff like that.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Because I'm actually working on a video like a follow-up to that castle one I did with yeah, I'm still working on it. I'm like,
that was
I've got so
incredible.
many on the go.
Yeah, it's hard work. As soon as you see something, you've got to go with it, haven't you? Otherwise you lose it. I feel like you'll lose it, and then you won't find it again for another
You
few
must
months.
be like me. You've probably got like 100
Files
pages open on like and different things and files everywhere. And
it's hard work. It's hard work sometimes.
It is.
I wish it would just be easy. Like one thing, do it, next one, but your mind gets frazzled, doesn't it?
It's just so much info coming and from all different angles as well. And it's just like, oh my God. And you know, it's
and it's like, I don't know what's happening. It's like someone's opened up a key or something, because everything's just coming now. Like everything's open up now.
Well, it's did you hear Martin's interview with that I forgot what the guy's name is. He's a researcher.
Was it the most recent one?
He did it as a live the other day.
Yeah, I did watch that. Yeah.
And they were sort of talking about how come all this info suddenly, you know, where was it? Where was it 10 years ago? Where were all these maps?
I think it's something to do with the astrological, isn't it? We've gone from to going in the Aquarius now, right?
The apocalypse is, right? The apocalypse is unveiling, the revealing.
Yeah.
So I think, well, that's the thing.
The time is nigh.
If you don't think there's something going on, then you're not really paying attention, are you? It's just
you've got your head up your backside.
I know, right? What a time to be alive. Jeez. It's just the best and the worst, eh? No, it's not really the worst though, because it's not really anything bad happening. It's just on TV that it looks bad.
Right? Got to just keep the positive attitude every day.
Exactly. Don't buy into the BS.
I'm going to ask Jason Verbelli, hopefully this weekend, when he does the APEC conference.
Jeez, man. You're moving in high circles these days, Professor Bernie.
Right? Just like that. Magic happens.
I know, right?
Manifestation.
It is.
You got it, brother. Like, that is key to everything.
Instant karma. Yeah.
That's another thing what alchemy is as well, isn't it? It's not just about turning lead to gold. It's about turning the mind from lead to gold as well.
Exactly, right? And it's the manifestation of the better self and the better soul and the better world.
Exactly.
And you have to have some level of success to know that you're doing it right and achieving these steps in the alchemical process.
Yeah, it's just like life. It's a journey. Got to take that first step.
It's a game. It seems like a game to me in a matrix, in a simulation. So it seems like sometimes I question, is my girlfriend even real? Right? Right? Sometimes it feels like it's just me and the whole
multiverse. Everything is possible and simultaneously happening, right? So it's like that's the new reality of Woo. It's like we are both a simulation and everything else all at once.
Well, they say, you know, he's in his own little world, so, you know.
In his own little bubble.
Yeah. So I think, you know, that's probably fairly close. We kind of are. We're just interacting in a common, I don't know, pond or sea or something. But yeah, I don't know. Who knows? I seem to have been transported to, I don't know, Bizarro World or the World of Warcraft or something. But I mean, that's the thing. If things can change this quickly, I mean, obviously there's, you know, the controllers, but you've got to still wonder, like, really, how real is this?
Do they actually have control as well? full control. Because how comes this stuff's coming out now, you know?
Well, that's the other thing. And even with all the free energy and alchemy stuff, you know, I mean, that's been coming out, you know, and everything has sort of slowly over, you know, probably 100 years, if you want to go back to like Levy scale and that, but it's just accelerated so much in the last, you know, 5 years or so. And now look where we are.
Where are we going to be in like 5 years' time? Like the consciousness, the collective consciousness of everyone. Like where are we going to be?
It's going to be a whole new paradigm, really. Like, you can't even predict it at this point because the rate of change is accelerating so fast into this new paradigm that it's like, who really knows? And wow, okay, just lost my train of thought there. That was
just hang on and enjoy the ride.
Exactly, right? And it's like, the disclosure now is just, the leak has turned into like a pour, and it's a daily pour, and then it's like, it just each day now is like what happened. The amount of change you'd experience in a year in society is happening like overnight almost at this point, compared to like the ancient alchemy writings, where it's like every single one starts off with, this knowledge is punishable by death if the king or the monarchy finds out you are practicing not under their local taxation or whatever, you know. Like, it's like, where, okay, we went from swearing allegiance of death for just spreading a little bit of this information to everybody having instant access to this information being thrown in their face every day.
And I mean, this is the thing. I think, the powers that be, I don't know if they had control, but they seem to have stuffed up letting the internet out and letting us all talk to each other.
Well, that's one thing I always think. With the internet, I think they messed up there big time, because it's connected everyone.
Exactly.
And another thing I'll say about the internet, it's like it's the digital Acacia records. That's what I believe. It's like, because
all the metadata, absolutely, Paul. You're 100% right.
It's like the Akashic records, okay, and then you've got a digital version, and that's what they like to say to do. They make a digital version of everything.
Yeah.
Right, and to 5G technology, it's like the 5th dimensional technology. We will never get to 6D without evolving the human consciousness and being able to operate as a collective consciousness sort of thing, you know. And it's like every human has to first be honest with their own self and own cognitive dissonance before we as a species will be able to evolve into that next higher dimensional realm of it's almost like what do you call it, but like insect or hive consciousness.
Yeah, hive mind. Yeah.
High consciousness.
And it's like, it's the hive of the ether, like the hive of like the universal mind, the energy.
This is the thing, is everything's, like they say, you know, two sides of the coin, is they flip everything, because you can have that sort of collective consciousness, which is good, and then you can have the Borg, you know, which is what they want to. And it's like what you just said, Paul. They try and take everything from real and turn it into digitalize everything.
You have to have that, though, don't you? You have to have, like Hermes said, you have to have polarity. You have to have both to experience one. So you have to have good to experience the bad.
Exactly, yeah, or you don't know what it is.
The key duality right there. And
exactly,
as everything, it's to learn how to take advantage of this new system, this new technology, and use it and utilize it to your own success and working, because it's higher dimensional technology that we all now have access to, and that if you were on an equal playing field sort of thing as individual consciousnesses, and what we're going to do with that technology at our fingertips, and right, so it's that some are going to have great success with evolving to it, using it and utilizing it, and others are just going to fail to, like dinosaurs or whatever.
Well, I mean, it's like the internet, you know, you can use it to, you know, learn things and better yourself, or you can You know, watch pop music and cat
Or you can
videos
learn
or
to blow, or
words.
you can learn to make a bomb off it.
Yeah, exactly. You can learn how to kill people, you know.
Yeah,
Connect with other
it's how you want to take it, I suppose.
It's so it's what you do with it. It's like TV. I used to always, just when I was young, just think, why do they put so much crap on it? Why don't they teach you anything? Because when I was young, there was still, you know, Nat Geo was still good. They still did good docos and that.
Right? And like,
but that was
what
like one
was it,
show a week.
A&E or something, that channel as well. But like, they actually had like real documentaries, like educational content.
Like the old ones from the 70s with like Leonard Nimoy and used to do them and oh god, what's his name? William Shatner, like they both were doing them, and other people, and they'd go up into you know, like Pumapunku and all these other places and actually show you so much more than you see today. It's bizarre.
Yeah. Another thing that I've been watching actually is something called Pathy. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Because they're clips from like the 50s and 60s, and I've been watching ones in Cyprus and in Greece.
Yeah.
And a lot of the stuff they haven't cleared up yet. Like they had tourists in the water. They're putting jars in the water and looking through and seeing all rubble from buildings. There's bits of jewelry down there, and this was in the 60s. It hadn't been cleared up.
No, wow.
And a lot of the caves on the coastlines were all being used by locals, but like in Malta now, they're all covered up. You can't go in them.
Yeah, right.
But everything was open.
It's amazing that it's not that long ago, like how different it was just back then.
Mm.
But yeah, I'm constantly when I'm looking at photos, I'm trying to see like a bit of tech that they forgot to put away or something that's sitting on a desk, or I'm like, come on, it's got to be something they've left out there. But yeah, right, there you go, in the videos.
Man, like that one video you did, Campbell, of that French castle and all that crazy tech in there.
Yeah.
Like, mind blown. Like, we need
that is unbelievable.
I need to get my hands on something like that.
There's lots of them. Like, there's lots of them. I saw one in the US, and it was like an old like theater, like literally, like, you know, cities have their like royal theaters or whatever you call them, you know, the big really fancy ones, and it had water damage in it. This thing was massive, just ornate, just completely covered, but it'd been sitting there for like, or for who knows how long, and it still had power, but they couldn't see that it was connected to any kind of grid. Seriously. And it was in the middle of nowhere, and it was all trees overgrowing it.
That's so badass.
That's how it used to be. That's just proof how it used to be. You didn't need to be connected to a grid. You didn't need to rely on anyone.
That's just proof of how it needs to be today. And that is my mission, to help teach and decipher and figure out for
how many abandoned buildings are still out there. Like there's even just the ones that are just still just the walls, you know. They're everywhere, and you just sort of, I always think, what are they doing there? I mean, that's kind of proof that things were different in the past, because you wouldn't go to all that effort. Like in Australia, we've got them out in, you know, the desert and stuff in the middle of nowhere. Massive
yeah, but you've got no cables going there. You've got no cables going there.
No cables ever went there, ever. And how could they build it out there, and why? So it just shows you it was different back then. They didn't need the grid. They didn't need all this stuff, and we had more water out there too. But yeah.
But going back to theatres, when I was in Malta, I went into an old theatre. It weren't like an ornate one, but it was very old. It shut down 70 years ago, and it turned into a nightclub. But when they'd actually left the top room, which had all the reels and all the machines up there. And I've got it on document on a video, and I found something called a Mercury arc rectifier. And I went back and I took the mercury out of it. And I had 770 grams of mercury out of it.
Do you still have this mercury?
Yeah. There was 2 of them in there.
Oh my God, I need mercury. I need to start rotating it, and I need to start adding voltage to it while rotating it. And also trying electrolysis with the mercury, because that is something I have yet to do. and how much the alchemists speak of Mercury. I can only imagine the results that will do, as well as like with the Baghdad battery, essentially maybe including Mercury in it, trying to replicate that. Like, just so many experiments to do.
I reckon it's got a lot more uses than what we're told. A lot more, because it used to be a receiver in the TVs and the radios, didn't it?
Yeah, it's in all the old TVs. Yeah.
Right, like Global Vision's videos there of different ones taking, even the red Mercury. Like, oh,
mate, have you seen that though? Have you seen it repel with garlic?
Right, attracted to gold, repelled by garlic. Doesn't reflect in a mirror. Like vampire blood. What?
But exactly. Exactly. And I couldn't believe it when I see that. I thought it was a joke. And another thing about all them, all the people that done them videos on YouTube, they all had to put the date and the time in front of it. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
Do you know what that's for?
I think it's something to do with the Islamic religion and tradition, because they're all coming out of like former Soviet stands there, and that's why they're able to still have that technology and be able to like access it and get away with filming and stuff.
Yeah. I knew there was something to do with it. I just couldn't work out what it was.
Yeah, I believe it has to do with like the spirituality and recording, while also with the mirror and something like that. But don't quote me on it.
Yeah, I wonder if you could make a little personal flight machine, Paul. You get your Mercury and pour it in like a...
That's left in Malta. I left that in Malta. I did that to my friend. Yeah. 770 grams of it.
Because I reckon if you spin it, it starts to get anti-grav properties.
Right? Yeah. Major weight loss.
Yeah. So I'm just wondering, you could almost get like a bike wheel and just put it sideways and somehow get so you could spin it and just contain it with Mercury and just sit there and pedal and you would just float up.
Right. But they make the bike wheel Bendini motors, if you've seen those, out of some neodymium magnets. And if you put Mercury in that, I'm guaranteeing you're going to get even more energy out of the production.
Like, they're powerful, they're neodymium, very powerful. The magnets, right?
Like, just so many new experiments for like do-it-yourself YouTubers to like do in this new world of woo and being stuck at home. It's like people just need to salvage what they can out of these old electronics and start teaching their kids to do real science experiments. And that's what I'm gonna focus on the next couple of months, filming videos on how to get the magnets out of it, how to recover Mercury, and how to reviewing other videos of people that have already built these systems and their sort of results and the basics on it.
So do you go near the magnetron at the microwave?
Right, that's what I'm going to be doing, as well as taking that. You got it, Paul. We're on the same wavelength. Like, people don't even know about those, and it's like, that's like a particle gun, right? Like,
like, yeah, from that when they used it in that video.
Have you seen someone put a grape inside a microwave?
Oh yeah, making the plasma, and yeah, and then capturing it, or the same as like the fire and then capturing the plasma. So that's all different microwave stuff. So it's like I gotta at least get one microwave taken apart and ready to mess around with when talking with John Hutchinson this summer, right? Like,
John Hutchinson, that's just oh my god, no idea what to say to him, but that'll be an awesome chat to listen to.
Just nerd out on a whole nother dimension. Start like just twitching and like telepathically going through it. Yeah. Long hair receiver to long hair receiver, right?
I've literally just had mine cut.
I thought you looked a bit short.
Bit fresh.
Yeah, a bit fresh. Yeah, is that the word?
How's your arm doing, Paul?
Huh?
You out of the cast now, or how's the
I
arm?
took it off about a week ago.
Nice.
But you can't really see on the camera, but it's actually still, you can see the swollenness of it.
Yeah.
It's well bad compared. The bottom one's a swollen one.
For
And
sure. But healing though, that's good.
Yeah, it's getting there. Because like I was saying to Campbell, the doctor said I would never be able to use my arm ever again. Do you know what I mean? and he wanted to put a rod in my arm with plates and screws.
You're just like, yeah, I'll never be able to use my arm again after you get up with that. Like,
yeah, exactly. After I cut your arm open, shove metal in there and start screwing things in, you'll never be able to use it again.
Yeah, but that's what they want. They want you coming back for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
They want me on medication. They want me on painkillers. They want me keep going back till I drop dead.
Yep.
So, like I said, I just got my information. I'll see the scans. See you later. That's it.
Yep. No, I
bang
mean,
on, man. Like,
the medical system
on.
has shown what it is. You know, like
well, the biggest killer 2 years ago, because I've been saying this statistic now for years, I think, but about 3 years ago, the statistic was in America, the biggest killer was pharmaceutical drugs, and that overrid everything. And that's drugs that are prescribed by doctors, people that are trained literally to help you out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, take these, mate, but you end up dying.
Yeah, and what's everyone doing now? Then they're not even tested. You know, it's bizarre.
No, like,
I know. It's.
Oh yeah, man. Like
we can't talk about that.
I just overcame a 10-year opiate battle, straight prescribed by my family doctor over back pain when I was 20, and it's like, or 22, and it's like I should be dead. The amount they prescribed me, it's just insane, and. Now I've been clear off of Oxy for 2.5 years and like reclaiming my life, but like the stories are just it's heartbreaking and it's a disaster over here. I've lost over 60 friends in 5 years to opiates, like lots of different really close friends. And then like even my grandfather, perfectly healthy on his 100th birthday, I got pictures with him, didn't make it to his 101st birthday because one night he had pain in like his abdomen, and they're like, oh, for the pain, we're going to give you fentanyl, and put my 100-year-old grandfather on fentanyl and died overnight due to fentanyl overdose. Like directly killed my 100-year-old grandfather. And it's insane. It's crazy. It's a genocide.
It is.
But, yeah, it is. The doctors don't know what they're doing, and when I tell people this, they think I'm crazy. They think I'm absolutely crackers. But doctors, all they know, I call a doctor a salesman because that's all they are. They prescribe drugs. That's all they do. But they don't know how to fix you. They can cut it out.
Yeah, but worse than that is they actually get bonuses and things depending on the drugs that they prescribe. Like there's literally salespeople who go around and visit doctors, and they're like, oh, well, if you promote our drug, we'll give you, you know, this much or this free holiday when you've sold this many, and they literally, so even then it's compromised, because if there's 5 drugs that are the same and one's the best but it's got the worst payout for them, well, you know, not that any of them are good, but you know what I mean. It's just, they are sales.
They're salesmen, and when you go and talk to them about something, they kick you out of the office. They look at you like you're nothing, and they say, "Get out, go on, get out." And I'm like, mate,
you haven't paid $100,000 in 6 years of your life to be here, all right? So don't talk to me. You're not intelligent like myself, that is now in debt to the government for the next 30 years of my life.
Yeah, you see these letters behind my name? They cost me $100,000. You respect my authority. No, it's just.
Yeah, I don't get on with them at all. Not one bit.
I mean, but it says it in the name, right?
God,
they're just practicing.
We are not going back to the old normal, and that people are finally starting to realize, like, oh, what is the placebo effect? Oh, no, it's not placebo. It's mind over matter. It's actual energy of the universe. It's your spirituality. It's your consciousness, and it's taking control, and the power of projection, and just making your own reality better and healing yourself, you know. And that's why the shift is accelerating, and it's never going back to how it was before.
It can't. I mean, the placebo effect confused me for so long until I understood how the world worked, because that's proof. That's 100% proof that we heal ourselves with nothing but our thoughts. The placebo effect is 100%
there. Exactly. That's what I've been doing with this. This is what I've been doing with this.
Yeah. It's
exactly.
Like, as soon as I said, like, when they told me I couldn't use it again, I was like, no, I'm not having that. I'm not having that. And since I've had that mindful, it's got. I can move it. You know.
Yep, and it'll get better. It'll keep getting better. You know. But this is
exactly
the thing.
The food in the mind.
Machines. Yeah, we're healing machines. Like, it's like you broke your wrist, but the doctor didn't heal it. No doctor's ever healed a broken bone. They might set it so it heals straight, but your body is what heals it.
Yeah, right? Exactly.
It's like doctors don't make you stop bleeding, you know, like it's your body. It's like doctors aren't this fantastical
and they
thing.
get all the credit for it as well, don't they? They get all the credit. Like people like my nan and my mum, they love doctors, mate. They love them. As soon as they get something wrong, they go, we should go to the doctor's to see what's going on.
Yeah, some people do. It's like, oh, I've got this pill and this pill. Oh, really? Well, I've got this pill. Oh, I haven't tried that. What do I have to do? I'm just going to headbutt this wall so I can get a pill. Yeah.
It's the Matrix, though, right? They're stuck in it. They fight to keep it going. It's what they believe in. It's their power of projection. It's their reality that they have to have that in order for them to be in their comfortable zone, to be in their happy little reality bubble. And that's what's so important about the ongoing disclosure, and that it's coming from all angles now, is that people are able to like self-initiate at their own rate and their own comfort and actually get into it. And once you break down one paradigm, it's easy to see the truth in everything else, or at least see that you've been lied to in everything else.
Well, it's like this whole thing. I mean, I know it looks bad, you know, what's going on, but in the end, it's, you know, it's like you keep saying, but it gives everyone time. You know, I know some people are still working, but so many people have realized that, oh, hang on, that whole going to work thing, that's just a scam. You know, not everything fell apart, you know, like the world's still running. Hang on. And
except for the people that burnt down their own cities, the world is still there and the sun is still rising. Right? Like,
it's just what an insane
year. The famous Bill Hicks.
Like, can you remember 2019? Like, can you even remember what it was like before 2020?
I'm like a festival guy, so don't make me cry here, because I'm used to dancing around with thousands of people in the forest, jamming music all night. But I
do.
But it just seems so far away, doesn't it?
It does.
It seems so far away.
Seems like another world.
Yeah.
You know.
But this is it now, moving forward, and people say it's going to get back to normal. It's not. This is it. This is it.
Well, and it's create your own new normal, though, right? It's to adapt to it and figure out a way to do things. And like this summer, it's going to be like, leave your phones and anything with GPS at home, and we all meet up in the mountains for this time, right? You know, like we're starting to figure it out, and we're rebuilding in what levels you can, and it's just about making the best, adapting, and figuring out what can be on the grid and what cannot be in the digital system, and how to remove one from the other, and how to get algorithms to work for you instead of have them work against you, and then build systems around them accordingly.
Yeah, it's more like we need to learn how to interface with, you know, the system, because until it falls, so that we can use it for the benefits but not be part of it, because, you know, there's a lot more you know, with sort of drawbacks and benefits. But at the moment, we still need money. We still need to be able to trade. We, you know,
right? It's the good with the bad, the duality. And it's being able to, if you're able to utilize the goods from it, then you're sheltered from the bads. And then you're able to, instead of having to tear it down, you're able to transition it into your new, better system. And that's the key to it, right? Is to not fall for the trick of burning down your own city. It's about using these brick buildings that have clearly been around for thousands of years and figuring out the system that's here, the energy that's here, the how to farm, how to produce your own energy, how to build everything, and then also live off of the system while it's still there to support you. And that you're transitioning into this new normal, but building the better future for yourself and those around you.
Our new normal, yeah. Yes.
Transmutation, right?
Transmutation.
Turn this shit into gold.
Get out the mutants. Yeah. Exactly.
And I've been speaking to a couple of other people lately, and they've been saying that there's a big thing going on at the moment in the background about who owns the land, and time's up. I don't know if you heard anything about that. 2 people have come to me and said this recently.
No, I know there's lots of treaties and different things that were signed and that are ending around this time, and some have ended already, like sort of a decade or 2 ago, and they're still trying to sort them out. So yeah, I haven't. No, like, is that to do with all the land or a certain country? Or
Well, I think all the land as well. I think it's all the land.
Wow.
The same guy that told me as well, he was talking about star faults, and he was saying that there's star faults literally on every part of this plane. And he says the only person that could do that, who would have the right to literally build on every plane, is Lucifer. So, but that's a very deep topic. Yeah.
But why would he be the only one? How does that, like?
Because it's his world, isn't it?
Well,
this is what someone's told me, by the way. This is what someone's told me.
I've heard a lot of this. I've heard a lot of this talk recently, and this is hell and all this. But I mean, I don't know if we believe that, then that.
So I honestly think it's a simulation.
Yeah, well, this is the thing. I think heaven and hell is down here. You know, it's whatever you want to get into and put your focus on.
Whether you want to live in.
Yeah, and clearly the people in control want to, you know, worship Lucifer in that, and they control the media. So I think they're putting out a lot of this stuff just to get people to think about it.
Yeah.
As far as I mean, I would think the only people that could build on every continent would be a civilization that you know, works together, one world sort of civilization.
Yeah.
And obviously they're beneficial in some way. So yeah, they'd just be. So it's like the domes or the cathedrals. It's the whole same kind of concept, isn't it? Because I guess if you say that the star forts were built, then you got to say, well, everything was built by Lucifer, because everything's pretty much on every continent.
Yeah. Another thing I've been looking in, Campbell, is in India, the blue people, Vishnu and Krishna and Nagas and all that.
Yeah.
Like literally just last night I was looking at all that, and now I think personally they're the ones that built these temples. If these are supreme beings with these powers, these must have been the ones to build these temples.
Well, I mean, it says in the Vedas and that they did. You know, they talk about Krishna as being, you know, like a being that lived down here, and they had wars and that, and that's where the Star Wars, the Star Wars story comes from the Vedas. That's why Darth Vader and Yoda is, you know, like yoga and yogi and all this. But so that's got all those stories as well about all the Vimanas and high technology. And in Buddhism too, it's like the blue eyes is a thing as well everywhere. The statue with blue eyes, but the blue people definitely, and also Avatar.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
You know, they used to be able to connect into the what do you call it? The energy or the mind of the planet or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You know, is that a message of some kind?
Paul, congratulations on the 10K though, brother.
Yeah, cheers, mate, and you for the 1K. That was very quick.
Right?
Have you hit 10K subscribers, Paul?
Yeah.
Oh wow, well done.
I know, I couldn't believe it. It was like overnight.
That's yeah, you've gone up pretty quick, like just recently, haven't you?
I think I had 7,000 about 10 days ago.
Wow.
And I thought, right, well,
did-
this is going to, hopefully in the next month, I might have 10. And it just took 5 days.
Did anyone shout you out, do you know, recently?
No, but there's one video that that I made that reset of India, and that's had over 1,100 subscribers just off that one video.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Right? And
wow, I'm
that's
gonna do
an
India
example
video.
of getting the algos working for you.
Yeah, that's
like
what I believe it is. There's something there that the algorithm's just messed up in my favour. Because I'm not joking. Every day I'm getting about 200 people subscribe every day, just constantly going up.
So that castle video I did, that's hit like 65,000 or something now.
Right?
I haven't checked, but I haven't got that many more subscribers, so they haven't gone up.
That's because we got to get you out of the trouble bin there, Otto. We gotta, and that's the key to working the algos, is not get yourself in the penalty box.
I know, this is
and know which ones are for what.
I'm still banned on my main channel, and that's connected to my other channel. So yeah, they just like, but yeah, I think that video just must have got shared or something.
What it was is that you did like a huge, like, in support of like a lockdown protest sort of thing, like going live, I think it was, and they're just like, nope. They're like, you're not allowed to do that.
You can't talk.
Put Cambell in the timeout penalty box.
You should see my first account, like the stats on it. Like the same thing that's happened to you, Paul. Like I went from, I think I was on about 10,000 and it went to like 15 in like 5 days. And then it went to like 20 in like 2 weeks. And the stats go straight up. And then I put a video out that they didn't like, and literally my stats go up and straight back down again. It's just ridiculous.
They're toe rags, mate, aren't they? They're toe rags.
It's just...
But that's what I'm saying. And it's like, we have to adapt to the new age. And it's that we'll get something going where we're on all the platforms of like live stream, which is Vimeo, and then also like Bitchute and Brighteon and whatnot, for all the alternative stuff that isn't allowed. And then at the same time make the clips that are just for hitting the algos on YouTube and on the main channel that is linked to the accounts, and that is the representation, or like your pocketbook.
I was even going to try doing live streams where you start off streaming to, like, you know, YouTube plus whatever, Odysee and a few other ones, and you do your sort of nice safe YouTube chat, and then you're like, okay guys, now we're going to talk. I'm closing YouTube down, head over to Odysee, and then just do it that way.
Exactly, right? And we'll start doing that. Actually, we should attempt it next week's session to like start on that platform, and that we'll create certain content that just goes on, and we'll make an account for all the alternative platforms, so it's able to affect each one of their algos and bring in as many population as possible. And then simultaneously for the main YouTube / Facebook / TikTok. And then also, once the business gets done properly with my clothing, I'm going to launch an recording Instagram as well for it, and then pay for marketing with it. And that is how you make your algorithms explode exponentially. And It's adapting the systems of this higher dimensional technology that used to be and still is used for suppressing, but you're able to take it because we've built such an infrastructure now, if you understand the inner workings of it, to actually, you know, become Neo, have that matrix work for you.
Yeah. Has it got anything to do with keywords and that though? Do you think, like, how safe?
100%.
How safe do we have
time.
to be on platforms like Facebook and like YouTube?
But that's the thing, is that we'll do specific content just for those ones, and then we will use the keywords of like the star fort, the tartaria, the catastrophism research, the alchemy, that are just in those, like that it's just targeted for that content, that then we can make it work in those systems, that then you even pay for that advertising and it takes all of that market for you, sort of thing, so that you're even able to like have the system cut out the trolls for you and access the most amount of people that are searching those fields and those topics.
Yeah. Almost like you said, with having that sort of firewall kind of in front of the information, like that everyone can find it, but it kind of filters out the trolls before they get to the real stuff.
Right, exactly. And another thing that I'm going to be doing now is getting back into like all the music I have with my old record label, so I can start using it in as the original content and content we produce, as well as then collaborating with different artists that I know. When you get permission for using their music in your videos, then the algos combine it exponentially to promote it for you, and you're reaching whole new markets of viewers.
Yeah, I don't know nothing about this.
Neither do I. I'm like,
well, see, that's what I'm saying. This is my industry, right? That's why it's like, awesome. I am a magician wizard that can make it all happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't got a clue, mate. I don't even know how to use Zoom properly. I wouldn't even know how to use that properly. Like, you know, when you do the pictures and things like that.
Right, but it's like we all learn together. So it's one step at a time, and together we're all gonna figure this out. And
yeah, that's it, mate.
Reality.
When we started, we didn't know anything, you know, and look where we are now. We still know nothing. No.
Right? Like there's a blood moon eclipse going on right now. Who knows what the hell the elites are doing?
Yeah. Is it on now? Like, you know what?
Yeah, time? Literally right now. Live on. It's right in the center of the eclipse right now.
That's funny, that, because when I was in Malta in September, there was about 2 weeks when we had a full a moon that was full red for about 2 weeks. Not full moon, but like deep red for about 2 weeks.
Okay, like a blood moon, but for 2 weeks. Wow.
Yeah. And I said to the people, like, what is this? Because when we have this in England, this is like a phenomenon. You know, like this is in the newspaper. This is serious. And I mean, no, this is normal. This happens at the end of the season.
Right at the equinox. That's very interesting, Paul. That's
And another thing that happened to me out there, that the temperature shot up from at 3 in the morning from 22 degrees to 29 degrees, which don't sound like a lot, but it's a lot. It's like 7 degrees. I woke up sweating, mate.
Especially around the ocean, sort of thing.
Like, how is that possible? If the sun is meant to be on the other side of whatever.
Oh,
how is it shot up in night time? 7 degrees to nearly 30 degrees. Yeah?
That's nothing, brother. Like Calgary, Alberta, where I'm in, we have something called the Chinook, which the natives called the snow eater, and it's when
is it the big?
The hot air comes off the mountain somehow, but it's like in the middle of winter, it can be like -20 out during that day. And then the Chinook will roll in at night and it will be +10 in the middle of the night, and the snow will be melting. And it will have been a 30 degrees Celsius change of temperature from the middle of the day to the middle of the night.
Yeah, what's that about, eh? That's mad.
Right?
That's
Like,
mad. But you got Malta, you're in the middle of the Mediterranean. You got nothing around you.
exactly.
Like
And the
why?
sea, the temperature from the sea should keep the air at a very stable temperature, right? It shouldn't have those sudden increases like that.
Yeah, and I read the newspaper, well, not the newspaper, on my phone the next day, and it was going, yeah, this was a phenomenal, this has never happened before, this is a once in a lifetime thing. I just thought that was a bit crazy.
Well, the new phenomenon, speaking of like these light pillars that happen in the far cold, there's lots of pictures of Siberia with like these lights that look like they're beaming up sort of thing in the middle of nowhere. It almost looks like the lights from like light poles kind of like look like that. Only it's like in the middle of the sky, and they only started happening like 10 years in the last 10 years, and they actually happen in Calgary here, where, and I've got pictures like I've recorded on my phone, like on my Facebook, of like the craziest light pillars as you'll find anywhere else on the internet sort of thing. And it looks like literally like souls being like sucked up by like something. And it's like, it'll be a clear sky, and it's like some sort of energy just comes flying up, and it drops so cold so quickly, and it's almost like something's even sucking up the light, not just sucking up the temperature, it's like sucking up the light in these light pillar sort of moments. And I've experienced like 3 or 4 of them, and they're always at 3 in the morning or 3:30 in the morning.
3:33.
Apparently that's the time of night or day that the ley line energy fluctuates or something like that. But other than that, I don't know.
I wonder if that's why the temperature rose in Malta, because I'm pretty sure that's on some kind of a ley line vortex with the amount of force it's got on it.
Major ley line vortex point for sure.
100%, 100%.
So
there's just so much going on there. It's unbelievable. Like just so many star faults and just unbelievable.
Does the ley line, like the grid pattern, the Earth grid, does that? I mean, obviously, like how does that tie into alchemy and you know, sun, moon, all this kind of stuff?
Right, that's what we're going to be working on deciphering together. That's why we're the team that's assembled. We're going to figure out connecting like the Stonehenges that monitor the eclipses, monitor the equinoxes, monitor equinox and solstices, as well as the position, the moon cycles, the super moons, all of that, and then also start to have to monitoring the planets with their certain alchemical symbols or metals, and start seeing how they interact on both the cathedrals as well as the star forts and these ancient star map like Stonehenges that are specifically for these measurements. And then we should be seeing on all those the 3 pillars, right? The 3 arches. And all of that architecture, and see how many of them also include different positions of the suns and the moons and the certain alignments, and how deep the architectural calendar mapping actually goes, and then also start using it and figuring out why they put so much into it, and start doing the scientific experiments, measuring different energies through these metals, through their positions in the astrological cycles.
Yeah, well, it would be good to, you know, if we could all sort of find a whatever, a dome or an arch or something to you know, to research and sort of find out as much as we can about it and what's around it, and start off with kind of 3 examples or whatever.
I encourage everybody to like go out themselves and find a spot with like one of these arches or one of these henges or just even a good horizon spot with reference that you can take pictures of the moon rising and the sun rising and the stars and planets rising, and just do it so every so often that you can throughout the year, where we can start building references and people will notice their own and start discovering their own cycles and their own sort of symmetries and stuff, right?
Well, we pretty much have to learn the old arts again, don't we? Like you say, we've got to track the stars and the planets and see what's really going on, because
make the mystery my story, right? Make it your own story. Everybody has their own adventure to investigate and discover, and we're the people that can put these ideas out there, but it's all our viewers and all the subscribers out there that need to also put in and be your own creativity, but put your own intellectual work into it. And you never know what sort of mystery you're going to discover, and who it's a whole different universe.
You're right there. You're bang on there. I didn't even know what I was going to discover. Obviously, I know what everyone else knows about flat Earth. And everyone knows that sort of stuff. But things like the hyperloop and that, I never knew about that, and I wouldn't even come across that until I started researching.
Right, so like the steam bucket engine in Malta you found, and like so many all the Malta caves and stuff. Like it's just like
I know.
So jealous of that too, but it's like you just have to work with what's around you, and you'll never know what you're gonna discover. But there's a whole nother layer of reality that needs uncovering that we all have to work together to find, and make it your purpose and make it your own.
And I think it's got a lot to do with listening to our hearts as well, and to ourselves, because we spent so long working jobs and being frazzled and not being able to focus on what we truly are and what we're supposed to do here. So
being told how to think, basically.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You got it,
not
guys.
Thinking for ourselves. Not thinking for ourselves.
Undoing the programming and following your intuition. Your intuition is your higher self.
Well, tuition.
You want to talk about Christ consciousness or anything at all, it's like, listen to your intuition. That's your higher being. That is your higher intelligence, and just follow it. Like that gut feeling will always keep you alive. No, that gut feeling is your soul, your spirit telling you where to go and what to do with it.
I've got a story about my higher self, actually, because about 5 years ago, I bought a spanner for work, like a big spanner, and it was an expensive one, right? And I didn't get to use it. It was still in the packet, because I thought, well, I'm not going to use it today. I'll take it home, have a look at it tonight, and then I'll take it to work tomorrow and start using it. And anyway, I went to go to work the next day and I couldn't find it. And I ended up accusing my workmates, my supervisor, people around me for stealing it, everyone. And it went for about 3 weeks. I couldn't work out what had happened. And then one night, I woke up the next day and I literally had a dream. And it was telling me it was in my car down the side where my seatbelt was. So I woke up straight away. Like I said to my girlfriend, let's listen, I've got to go outside. Like I was in with boxer shorts and that. I went, listen, I'm going downstairs in my car. Like I swear my spanner's there. And I ran with exactly how I pictured it in my dream to how it was sitting down the side where you plug your seatbelt in. It was sitting there. And I thought, how the heck, what, like, that gives me goosebumps now still. That still gives me goosebumps now.
Right?
That is unbelievable.
But that's the thing, and it's untraining the programming and retraining, listening to the resonance. The goosebumps, that's resonance. That's your soul resonating with you. That's your intuition speaking. And like you shared there, like your dreams, that's another aspect, astral projection, and especially lucid dreaming. And my girlfriend Amber there, she's vivid lucid dreamer. And like, I can't sleep next to her if she watched a horror movie, because that's programming that's traumatized herself and she's attacking me in her sleep that same night, sort of thing. But it's like, right, so it's like you have to undo that programming and learn yourself and understand that you exist like your soul is immortal and you are this higher dimensional consciousness. You just have to listen to yourself and listen to the universe, and then it will come to you. You will come to yourself in your dreams, right? And it's like you have to not let your own independent ego of being like, oh, I couldn't have forgotten that, and like hold off, don't accuse others because it's whatnot. Like you got to think back or whatnot, or just trust in yourself, or you'll get to that point where it'll just automatically, your higher self will always come back to you like instantaneously, sort of thing. But like that's a yogi, but it's like that's what they mean by going within yourself. And once you learn that, you learn that the whole old society was not some placebo effect. It was the scam, it was the pus, and the placebo is that, and reality is your own soul and your own being and your own consciousness. And once you start listening to it, anything is actually possible.
That's it, mate. It is. It really is. I've done so much that I shouldn't have meant to do, like through financially things that I shouldn't have done, but through this I've managed to do it. So much stuff I've manifested,
right? And that's exactly it. And it's that we each have our own independent journeys that we have to like learn the hard way, do stuff a few times, but once you actually start on your real spiritual path, your actual start listening to yourself and your inner self, the universe opens up doors, and there's no limit.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Definitely.
As long as you're in there and you're in that, you sort of trust that it's there and it's going to have your back, then it will. But we've all
we
been
are our
taught
own
that
worst
it's all
enemies, though, right? Simultaneously, the power of projection. It's so easy to get caught in that rut, to get down on that lower fear, anger, triggered brainwave.
Mate, that's how I done my arm, wasn't it? In anger,
right? and then it's like it's a self-fulfilling prophecy of failure, of sadness, of I can't do it, so of course you can't do it, you'll never be able to, and it just keeps creating nothing. And it happens in extremes, and you got to experience the good without the bad, right? And it's that after you have to go through the experience of those extremes, ups and downs, to be able to learn how to navigate it better in the future. But it's that you just stay with it, trust it, and learn the patterns and the cycles, and you'll always be able to pull yourself out of it sooner and not let yourself get stuck, and be your best friend instead of your own worst enemy.
Yeah, because it's people seem to be scared of making what they think are mistakes, but mistakes don't exist. They're mistakes. It just means,
that's it, mistakes.
Have it again.
And you can learn from it.
Such a beautiful saying, Cambell.
Take one, take two. Mistake, yeah.
It's like it's exactly true, because to become good at, like, say, plumbing, you're not going to come out of college and be good at it. You have to make every single mistake, so you learn and you know yourself not to do that again.
Not to do it again.
So it's hang on what you're saying. It's not just in life; it's in everything that you do.
That's the thing. I mean, imagine, if actors went out and went, oh, I didn't get that right. Sorry, I'm out of here, going home. End of the movie. Doesn't happen. I mean,
that's when they shave their heads and don't get roles for years, right?
Yeah, exactly. So this is the thing. We've got to not be prepared to fail and try and have mistakes and that, but start liking that. Understand that's part of the process. That's good. That's how you learn. That's the fun part. But we've been taught that that's the scary part and the bad part, and people will laugh at you and all this kind of stuff. But that's not even true. It's not even true.
It's believing in yourself and never giving up. Understanding that there's some reason that the universe has you in this specific position you're in right now, and that you're either going to keep repeating these same mistakes if you don't pay attention and learn and adapt, or you can actually see what's going on, go within yourself, listen to your gut, your intuition, see what window pops up in front of you, and learn from it, but have that faith that by doing that, you are going through and that it's going to get better, and it will. And also putting in the work to make sure it happens.
Yeah, not giving up. This is another big thing, I think, is, you know, I mean, obviously with society the way it is, but people tend to think that just wanting something is enough, or maybe just wanting it and putting in a bit of work might be enough. But the way I look at it, you've got to deserve it. You know, you've got to turn yourself into the person who deserves it. Because if you imagine, you're not the only one who wants something. You know, there might be another 100,000 people who want the same thing. Who do you think's going to get it?
8 billion.
The one who deserves it, who puts the work in and becomes what they need to become. Everyone else who just wants it, they just want it. And if you want something, you can't ever get it, can you?
And it's that you're stuck in that position while letting the controllers drain all of your real energy and your real productivity and your real soul experience, right? And that's where this grand awakening is, waking everyone up from being in this cog that was letting that energy go to this negative, whatever, who knows what, but it's reclaiming it and understanding what your free will is, and understanding that you have to start from within, and that you can't be lying to yourself, aka cognitive dissonance or ignorance, and letting that overcome yourself and your ego overcome yourself, and then just get off on being triggered and putting like, I told that guy that, right? As opposed to no, work, like go plant those seeds in the dirt outside and just water them every couple of days. That's gonna yield real world like results and soul like karmatic reward as well, you know, like where you're creating anything, bringing any life, building anything in the real world, on top of bringing the information and the connectedness that we now get out of the online connection and the online social experience and like egotistical interaction that is the new reality, and manifesting it in some sort of daily labor to better your own future and your own community.
Yeah. I mean, there's been a lot of talk, and it's probably time for some action, hey? Start.
We're doing it right now though, right?
We are. No, definitely.
Like 10K, I got my 1K, like, and it's just taking the steps and being practical and working at it, and the universe will provide, and you attract like-minded ideas, you attract like-minded energies, and the more productive you become yourself in your daily activities and daily community and building and whatnot, the more the universe will exponentially increase it and give it to you when you're doing good, and when you're doing right, and you're going within and you're producing without.
Well, the universe don't hold back with information for me. When it's information, it gives it to me straight away. If it's something like material that I want, it's a bit longer, you know. But information, I'll ask for it tonight and it'll come tomorrow. I'll wake up tomorrow with it like downloaded in me, or where to go and look for it.
You got it. And that's key, right? It's the information you connect to that, like the hive mind, or like the universal consciousness or whatnot, or your greater consciousness that it provides it. And then for the material, you have to put in that 30 days of work, that month sort of work at manifesting it, and then it does also materialize in that physical reality.
That's it, mate. That's exactly it. Put a bit of emotion with it. That's what I do. Attach a bit of emotion.
Emotion's the language of the universe.
That's what I do. I sit there like I drove to Malta in an Audi A3 Sport, and I manifested that car. I used to drive along in a Ford Fiesta, going back and forth to my mate's house, and I'd have a bit of reggae music on, and I'd be like really nice, happy music, and I'd just be imagining I was trying to manifest an A4 convertible. That's what I was trying to manifest, but I got given an A3 Sport.
You got given
But
it.
yeah, I
too,
drive,
right?
and I just imagine I was in that car, and I'd imagine the four rings. I'd imagine everything. And then at that time, I had credit, so I couldn't get a car, especially like that on finance. But for some reason, about 3 weeks later after that, a geezer rang me up, going, "Oh, we've just had your application here," and I thought, I ain't even applied for anything. Goes, "Oh, you've been accepted for this car," and I thought, in my head, I thought, go away, mate. Do you know what I mean? Like, no, I ain't. I know my credit. No, I ain't. See you later. And then I googled the company, and I thought, this is legit. So I rang the geezer back up, and I went, "Mate, look, sorry. I get a lot of calls. Like, what was you saying?" He goes, "Yeah, we're offering you this car if you want to come and put the deposit down, £400." I went, "All right, sweet, done."
Oh, man.
And I've got bad credit. I should never have had a car. I should never have ever had a car.
Well, that's the thing.
But manifestation, mate, it makes it work.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think you can work in, the physical world, in the machine world, and it's pretty hard, or you can go above it and, work in the energy or the spirit world or whatever you want to call it. And it definitely rules over the material world. Yeah. Just
Right? Exactly.
just believe it. And just, it's like living into it, isn't it? You've got to sort of everything's created twice, like they say, first in your mind and then in reality. So you've just got to create it.
It all starts here, doesn't it? It all starts in here.
Yep.
Everything starts off as a thought.
Yep. And the more real it is, the more the wind's in your hair, and you can hear the engine, and you can feel the steering wheel and stuff.
Emerald tablets.
Emerald tablets, yeah, of Thoth, yeah.
Yeah, that's a proper bit. It's very hard to understand. Very hard. I had to read the audio in the end. I listened to the audio. But that's a very, very good book. Very good. And the Cambellian as well. That's another one.
Yeah. Cambellian. I've read. I haven't read that for a while, but there's a lot out there. I still need to get through. Oh God, what's it called? I can't remember the name. There's one about from Frisia, the Laura Linda. Is that what it's called? Laura Linda book.
I'm not sure.
That's pretty bizarre too. That's more talking about how they used to live and things, but that talks about of deluge and catastrophe and everything coming in, and it talks about like, doesn't call them Jesuit, but like Jesuit type figures coming in and sort of usurping the church and taking over the way that they used to sort of look at everything. And where was that book? I sort of read that and I just think, where was this book 10 years ago? Because, it's supposed to be a book that they've found 150 years ago, and it's supposed to be like 500-600 years old, but where's it been sitting?
Right? That's amazing book, Cambell. That's crazy.
Yeah. I need to do I was going to do a reading on it, just read it, make a video, just because it's just bizarre.
But another thing you mentioned, like, have you heard the Kali Yuga? Have you heard of the Kali Yuga?
Yeah.
I've been doing a lot of Indian stuff lately, and it's just blowing my mind, mate. Yeah, it's absolutely.
Yeah, I've like years ago, I'd pretty much decided that the Vedic culture is the closest remnant to the ancient civilization that we've got. That's pretty much it.
Me too, Cambell. I'm bang on with you on these.
Yeah, that's and all the Veda, like the oldest and the longest book that we know of is the Rig Veda. And there's just so many writings, and there's so much. I mean, look at the architecture, right? But they've got like all their books. They've got rules for how you structure society, for like everything. They got their yoga books. They got their health books. Like it's a full. The Vedas aren't a religion. That's like a full how to run a good society, pretty much.
Yeah.
And in their social structure, they had, so they had the workers and that just meant, people that were good with their hands and happy, they did that kind of work, and other people that were more meant, did it. So it wasn't really a class thing, but above the politicians were the spiritual leaders. So basically the politicians couldn't pass any laws or do anything unless it went through the actual spiritual teachers above them.
They got rid of the spiritual one now, haven't they? It's just
well, exactly. Yeah, they've just got rid of it. So you can imagine if you've actually got real, ethical, proper spiritual people, then They just keep
Mate,
a check on everything.
Civilization would be amazing.
It would.
Right?
Everything would be done for the right, for the benefit.
Yep. All the
Everything's
politicians
done for
we
money
see,
now,
they wouldn't, you know, they wouldn't even make it through the door. The politicians we've got.
Nah.
You know.
Politics. So,
Yeah, exactly.
say
Right.
no more.
Yeah.
I won't say no more.
I know. Oh, that's government. I mean, it's all in the words, isn't it? You know. All in the
Government.
The
Yeah, mine.
alchemy
Government.
of the
mind
words,
control.
like
Yeah.
the breakdown.
What was that?
Yeah, I think you've done a magic trick, haven't you, Bernie?
Yeah, he's
Done a
disappeared.
Houdini.
He's alchemied himself away, turned into a monatomic Bernie.
He's gone to Mercury red, hasn't he? Disappeared, mate.
Yeah, what happened to that Mercury red? It was big for a while and then it kind of disappeared. I wonder.
Is that the same Mercury that was in? It can't be the same in the thermometer, then, surely.
If it's red mercury or regular mercury.
Yeah, because that used to. Yeah, I think. Yeah, because they used to look red, didn't it? Or was that just a red line?
And they used to say, "Don't ever touch that," didn't they? They said, "Don't go near that Mercury." But when they say that, you know you're going to nick one and fight.
They say that, right? Mercury will kill you.
Right?
And
Don't go around Mercury. Probably should start experimenting with Mercury.
yeah, exactly. Well, but it's in all the new light bulbs, all these little mini, you know, fluorescents. Yeah. They've all got mercury in them. So it's don't go around Mercury, it'll kill you. Now we're going to put it in every house and in something that'll break easily. What?
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy, mate. But they even in like things like sump pumps and things like that, like pumps, it's submersive pumps, it's mercury. So when it goes upside down, the liquid can move and it makes a connection.
Oh.
You know, things like that as well. So it's used in so much stuff.
Because electrical connection, yeah, right.
Yeah, so when you flip it upside down, it lengthens out and then it makes a connection.
Yeah.
You tip it back and it goes to a ball.
Yeah, right.
So it's making a connection, no connection, you know?
Yeah, like a switch, basically.
Yeah, exactly that.
Wow, that's
exactly that.
Right? Practice makes perfect. Practice, we're getting there.
Yeah.
And
well, shit, if you see my first videos compared to now, well, I hope I got better.
Oh, mate, yeah, me. Mate, mate, yeah. I've deleted a load of mine. I've deleted loads of them. Mate, my mouth in Malta was horrible. Yeah. Swearing. It was so
right,
bad.
really? Yeah, right.
Yeah, no, because I was excited. Wherever I was going, I was excited. I was full of adrenaline. There's no one around. It's just me, and I've got a camera, and I'm like swearing my head off. And so I got rid of all them. They're all gone.
Oh, yeah, I deleted, about 10 videos. Just trying because I don't know if they've got anything bad in them. They might have a word in them that YouTube don't like, and I'm like, God.
But that's the key, though. And now we have to save those ones and instantly upload them onto those
other platforms,
the backup platforms like Odysee, like Bitchute, like Brightyawn. And then it's that we'll even switch it over, marketing it almost to like a different backup / name a little bit that's separate, that then like we'll just create a category name for it or something like that it then publishes through, and we can upload all of each of our videos onto like off of one account that just then puts out like does these drops, but backup drops on all the backup channels, but it has everything, and then we can go back and edit it later, use certain parts for it, but it's also there in those other platforms, both being stored, but also bringing in their viewers and bringing the knowledge forward on to other communities that were focused on, you know, the Q thing and all those other things and whatnot, and get them into also putting their energy into productive things now that they already know everything's messed up and that things are lies, but it's that we'll be able to reach these markets that have already disconnected themselves from the mainstream paradigm, but have isolated themselves from getting real knowledge or being productive or stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
And then whatever we do make for the YouTubes, it's like when we publish it, it will be specific clips for specific markets with keywords that then gives you the biggest, most productive information and like product for the people, like productivity content that so you can.
Shorter, sharper videos, more information based, and like John Levi does. He does it so well. He must he must just sit there, and I reckon he cuts it and then goes back the next day and like, now how can I cut more out of it, and goes back, what can I, because he just, I don't know.
It probably was an hour video at the start, wasn't it? And
yeah, that's what I think. Yeah, and he just keeps cutting it down.
To 2 minutes and 33 seconds. Exactly. Over it.
He just, I don't know how he does it, but and the other thing is he talks so slowly, and his videos are like 20 minutes, but he seems to get so much into them. But it's just, he's a bloody wizard. That's what it is.
That's why he's got 110K.
I know, right? His algorithm,
he's an alchemist too. What can I say, right?
Is he really?
He's been reading a couple of alchemy books. It said like a couple months ago. The Alchemy of the Cathedrals, I think, is the book.
Oh yeah.
But his knowledge is pretty good. From like, it's only like a 30-second clip, and it's like he includes so much in it. It's like, his understanding is good. Freaking wizards, right?
Yeah, it's that's the thing. I think I just talk too much sometimes and try and explain too much, where he'll just say something that'll make you think the answer, if you know what I mean, rather than tell you.
Yeah,
he's just, he's a bloody alchemist.
Some people are gifted like that. Some people are just gifted like that.
I know. I'm not.
I reckon he could sell anything, that geezer, I reckon.
Yeah, he probably could.
He probably could. He probably could sell anything.
Yeah, you can see him in a boardroom, just sitting there taking his time, just going, I think we do this, and then like everyone's just like, okay, John, we're doing that. Yeah.
All right, mate. Yeah.
But yeah, he's gone up 30K in like what, 2 or 3 months.
Yes, it's unbelievable.
How do we get on his algorithm, Bernie? Can you book me on that?
That's what I'm teaching, right? It's about like targeting the catastrophism, the plasma, the bricks, the alternate history.
So do we think that any of those words are like, bad keywords as far as YouTube? If they see tartaria and that, are they?
No, those are still good right now. Those are Starfarts is really good. Tartaria might be getting there, but it's not bad. They published like over a year ago that like Flat Earth, they directly censor and suppress all goes on it.
That's
and
cool.
then,
I've got another name
obviously
anyway.
anything Paul Atiki will get you automatically put in the timeout penalty box, which that is key that we no longer want to do. But it's that those ones, you just use something like Yard House and you go live onto your Odysee or go live onto your Bitchute, and that subscriber, like people out there, viewers, I encourage you to also create your own accounts on these alternative platforms, that then when you do attend a protest or something like that, or need to go live, instead of it go through the Facebook that then can censor it, or Twitter that can censor it or whatnot, you have it backed up on these other things, and that people that are good with going through editing and doing like cutting and copying information and putting together clips can do that. And that's part of how the disclosure and society is evolving and changing and adapting so quickly, is that anyone, any 14-year-old can essentially have this and do this and have access from their own home or their own phone, right? Like you, Paul, right? Like, look, 10K off your phone producing videos. Like anybody can do it, and it's a beautiful thing. And it's that we all need to learn how to do it to be able to build and create this better world and have anything possible. Like it's a beautiful future. That's don't burn it down.
It's
don't
interesting.
No.
It's very
don't
interesting.
fall for the old trick, that Bill Hicks comedy sketch. pick up the gun. Pick up the gun. No, do not pick up the gun. Do not pick up the Molotov cocktail, and do not throw it at your local brick buildings. Instead, you need to be digging out the foundation of these brick buildings, and we got to figure out how it's some sort of chemical you put on the bricks that turn them into batteries, so that it's like that's totally ancient tech that the buildings power themselves and store the power themselves. Like clearly that was how these cathedrals and Tartarian architecture was functioning. And what's crazy, I find, and I've heard like a lot of the stories out of Antarctica and this pre-Adamite civilization technology that's under there, but one of the things that they say was that it's able to use electricity through the architecture and store it and stuff. And it's like, well, maybe it's not so alien after all. Maybe it's everybody was using it, and maybe some still even are still using it. Who knows? But it's that we can all figure this out, and we can all start building with it. That who knows, within 3 years, the trending thing is going to be how to make your own brick home that powers itself anywhere, that lasts forever, that you right, like
bloody oath, yeah, exactly.
Well, that is
a whole new
going to
world.
be one of my goals in the end. I need to get what me and my girlfriend want to do is just get a caravan and go, just be gone. That's what we're working towards now.
Yeah, man, I've got an old Toyota Hiace van. Not Hiace, coaster, like a mini bus.
That's what we want to do, something like that.
It's awesome.
And just go.
Right, the podcast van camper, like you're talking to festival guy again here. So and that's what me and Amber are working on as well, on getting a good one going. And like I've got a family ranch out in BC, the Kootenay Mountains too, that it's like gonna be spending some time building and experimenting, and definitely gonna try building one of those reversed washing machines, hydro-powered, out there, as well as gonna be doing my solar panels and battery bank and LED lights at home here soon. But then it's like I'll evolve that into also hooking up one of those washer hydro machines, and maybe try to build a little reverse wind generator sort of thing, and just even have them out there, and building off of it, right? It's like,
you could run bloody seminars out there on the weekend and show people how to build stuff. And
that'd be brilliant. Well, I do actually watch a lot of people that actually build their own. I've been following people that build their own camper vans and stuff. And that's what's made me want to do it. I literally want to,
and that's what I'm saying, right? We're going to be doing it ourselves too. And it's about everybody building their own dreams and making it happen step by step, because it's possible. It's just a matter of doing it and following your heart and following your dreams. And
definitely.
It's possible, mate.
Look at minibuses and buses, Paul. Right, when I was looking, they're cheaper than vans. Because most of the big vans that you can convert are pretty new still. There's a few older ones, but they're the small vans. But
it's so easy to convert old school buses, right?
Exactly.
That's what you're
old
talking
school
about,
buses.
right?
Get them for
because
like
there's so
$2,000
many of them, and then there's so many parts that are all the same, so it's cheap to fix them, cheap to repair them, and they're usually standard sizes within like your local area.
So you ain't got to go and get them shipped in, loads of money,
and everyone's got it. And it's like you turn it into a camper. Like literally, I've lived in many of those for many summer months of many years over the last decades of variants, right?
Yeah, awesome. Yeah. That's what I mean. Mine's a little bus, but I think you need a license for a big bus. But if you get like the school buses, the sort of half, 3/4 ones, just drive my car license, and they're well big enough. It's like an apartment.
I can drive up to 3.5 ton on my license.
You can probably do a bus then.
Yeah.
Because that way you literally get a house. You literally have an apartment if you've got a bus.
Right?
Yeah, mine's got a kitchen and a bed and everything in it, but it's small.
So, I mean, I'd love to do all the solar power. I'd love to do.
Yeah,
I'd love to,
exactly.
Like making the cooker, doing the plumbing, the shower, everything, mate. It's happening anyway.
That's what I'm saying. We're gonna be doing that together over the next couple of months. Like all three of us learning it and then building it ourselves, and we'll co-produce videos on that as well, right?
Yeah,
and it's like that's how you you hit the algorithms that everybody's like, hey, I want to learn how to build my own cool ass, right? And it's doing it, and then once you've done it, you have it, and you go from there. And it's like, oh, that was the first one that's now on the ranch, and then you go get the second one, or you done the first one. Once you're done with it a little bit, you sell it, and then you're able to use it to build it, to buy two more and build two more, right? And it's just working for yourself, working the system and doing it.
Creating value. Do you reckon, like, if you got like polypipe, like pipe, and put it up on your roof racks, and you put turbines in them, like
100%. Something's got to work. Something
so
has
as
to
you
work.
drive along, it's just spinning them, right? Free energy.
Well, if you actually look at
some Mercury in there and stuff, and
if you look at the old buses or old vans, you do see a little a fan on the top. I don't know if you get it in other countries, but in England, you've got an old bus or an old van, and they have a fan on the top. And I used to ask my stepdad, "What does that do?" And he goes, "Oh, it's power." So that would just spin apparently, and it generates some sort of maybe spin something in there like an alternator. I don't know what it done.
Yeah, well, maybe they were just running their bells and things off it, but I mean, that's just got to be free energy, right?
Of course, mate. If you do 70 miles an hour and you got that fan, mate, that's a genius. I've never even thought of that. That was a brilliant one.
Yeah, and just straight into your batteries, why not? I mean, there's got to be tons of stuff like that. It's like at the moment, suddenly someone's realized if you put a fan on a heater, it'll actually you can blow the heat. Have you seen these?
Yeah, because you can do the same with aircon. If you put a freezer, if you get ice behind your fan, you can blow cold air.
Yeah. And now they're selling these little fans, and you literally just put them on your heater, and it just blows the hot air towards you instead of it going up. And they're everywhere at the moment, people. And it's just like, what? No one thought of that before.
Brilliant, like that.
It's so simple, right? It's just like, what?
Yeah, but you know why? It's because we've been told something else.
It all has to do with everything was designed to be the most inefficient as possible, to charge you the most as possible, to get you to spend the most as possible, burning down our world and our environment. It's like, no, learn how to generate it yourself, but learn how to do it efficiently. And just the world's productivity, the claim that there's not enough for everyone is just such oppressive lies. It's insane, because everybody has the tools in this day and age to build their own little palace, kingdom, and utopia. And it's just a matter of not burning down all of those around you and helping build up everyone together.
That's it. Well, that's exactly it, mate. But it's in England, it's illegal to go and live off grid. It's illegal. You're not allowed to go and do it. You can't. Yeah, you can't. Like, where can you go? Like, there's no land to go to. You can't go and sit on a campsite. In England, I think you have to go on a campsite for 9 months of the year or 10 months of the year, and then you have to go home for 2 months. Like, they make it hard. You can't do nothing. Can't do nothing.
And don't like the royal family own all public lands and pretty much everything in England except for the city of London, which is some corporation, and just
I should watch a documentary about this actually.
Yeah.
I found out that the church owns London. The Church of England owns London. It owns loads of estates in London. Well, what I'll do is I'll give you the link after.
The church is the finance, is that right? The church is finance and spiritual of the three, and then you've got Washington's the war, and what's the other one? London's
spiritual and Rome. Spiritual, financial.
Oh, so Rome,
war.
So London is financial. That's right. Yeah. So Rome. So I wonder who owns Rome then. No doubt the war people.
Maybe it's the same ones with them elongated skulls that have the hypogeum over in Malta there. Like, my God.
What do you think about that?
Okay, so as a Canadian, we had Trudeau, who like was promising all these changes, and on his first night elected, he actually pulled Canadian troops out of the war of Iraq. And guess where his first foreign trip was? And it was 2 days after getting elected. The island of Malta. And instantly all of his policies changed overnight. So it's like, and then you look at Rome, and who's closer than the Swiss Guard? The Knights of Malta. So
what does a queen wear on her nice big gown?
Yeah, exactly. But not only this, I've been looking at Indian history, and mate, that Maltese flag's everywhere. It's even in on Indian architecture. And how far does that go back? I've got pictures of in my next video.
Thousands.
So,
yeah.
So a lot of these symbols are just inherited.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Or it's a continued suppressive culture that ruling like power structure sort of thing too.
Well, I mean, the coneheads they've done the tests and they say they're not human. Clearly they're not human. That's not, right? it's not binding because they can measure the cavity size. The
cranial mass is bigger, Brian Forrester's work.
Fill them up with stones.
Also,
and
Lloyd
they're found
Pye's
everywhere.
Work.
Found what? South America, Malta, Russia,
every continent.
Every continent, yeah. So I mean, they're probably, I don't know, they're the predecessors of the rulers of the parasites.
If you look at the hieroglyphs in Egypt, some of these people, I can't remember the names of them. Was it Nefertiti?
Nefertiti, yeah. There's her bust, like her statue. She's got a massive head.
Exactly. And there's other ones as well. Like even I'm looking at
Akhenaten was her husband.
Yeah.
Yep. He had one. And so did
Tutankhamun. We know it's in Egypt. We know it's in South America. We know it's in Africa, obviously.
Or the Pope's hat, like from
exactly. Yeah. The fish head hat. Yep. What's that hiding? Did you see that video that I put up? I think I can't remember if it was a live or a video, but it showed in the Vatican, and they're doing this procession. And there's this little alien reptile thing with a really big head.
Really?
Yeah, walking in the procession.
What?
I haven't seen this.
Haven't you seen that?
I
don't know what the videos. It's on my. Well, I hope it's still on my channel. They might have taken it down. I think it's just called Aliens in the Vatican or something on my second channel. Have a look at it.
Wow.
Oh, I'm gonna have to have a look at that now.
It's really freaky.
I've seen the South Park episode of like the Vatican opening up and like all these freaking things coming out, but
it's pretty bizarre.
It's gotta come from somewhere, right?
Yeah.
But talking about this, I'm doing a video on Tartaria in India at the moment. I've come across, I don't know if you guys have come across it, the long neck Tartarians. Have you come across this?
Not yet.
No, only the Indonesian or the Thai women.
No, these are like long necked, like.
See, lots of African tribes and stuff, right?
I mean, long neck, like a giraffe neck, long neck.
No, what?
They've been found in Hungary, other places in Asia. I found newspaper clips of it and stuff like that.
And this is how you're at 10K already, Paul. Like, my God.
Oh my God. So like that cryptoid you see that looks like a bird. And it's got a really long neck, and it's got a bird's head, like that kind of thing.
Yeah, there's another one similar to that with exactly that one, similar to that.
Yeah, right.
And
back to the emerald tablets and Thoth right there, right?
Huh?
Back to the races are down here.
Oh,
emerald tablets and Thoth, the bluebird demigod, right? Like,
it's just
the Tartarian rabbit hole.
I know, mate. I know. I think another thing I was looking at as well was Indians in America. If you actually look, you've got Russia and America. They're only 70 kilometers away from each other.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And if you've got Tartarian Indians in South Asia, and you can literally go from India all the way through Russia to America.
Yeah.
So that would explain how Indians
Alaska was settled by Tartarians. Like,
there's
part of the Royal Russian Empire.
And the Muscovy. Have you heard of Muscovy?
Yeah.
Muscovy, you heard of them, the Russians?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've just touched them recently. I'm going to start looking at them a bit more as well, because I never heard about them until the other day. Muscovies.
Muscovy, yeah. There's some weird shit going on. I've got I'm sitting on this information I've got about America and the natives and that, but oh God. I don't know if I can release it. Like, it might start a bloody riot.
Sorry, Cambell, America and what?
Well, Leap Project just did a huge thing about them finding Christian crosses down in Arizona that are from the Roman times, and it proves that there's been transatlantic colonization and interactions for over 2,000 years, and all sorts
There's a lot of that, yep. But the natives, this whole story of the natives, and there's a lot of blacks saying, no, we're the natives. Well, I'll have to cut this out of the video, but in the in the 1500s, there was slave trade in the 1500s, and it was running out of like Micronesia, the Philippines, that kind of area. And they were transporting basically slaves to the Americas from the Philippines and India. And have you ever looked at a Native American and an Indonesian?
Oh yeah. Well, Campbell,
so
you're
what
saying this now.
happened
It's
is,
still going in my video. I've got comparisons in my video for this.
They got
this is what I'm doing. Like, I'm showing.
And then after they'd been there for a couple of hundred years, these Filipinos, all these laws passed, and it was basically like, if you were a native, then you got all these extra, benefits.
Like the Windrush in England.
Yeah, and so they were basically they could sign on and say, yeah, I'm a native because my parents were born here, and they basically got pushed in as the natives, and the blacks got taken out. And there's there's also info that Abraham Lincoln was black.
I'm just gonna go to the toilet quick, man. I'm just gonna
So it's pretty. They've just messed the bloody populations up so much,
right? But it's like, I honestly think humanity has been like this global society of interchanging people, like multicultural, for like probably tens, if not hundreds of thousands of years. And that there's the local population groups, and then as catastrophes happen, it wipes out like the international like crossbreeding for a little time period. Then we build ourselves back up, and it's like those core certain areas or core cultures are a lot older than we think they are, and then that everything else, it's like there's nothing new under the sun.
No, there's not. And I think with each catastrophe, I think that they shift everyone around just for confusion. Like they'll
100%.
Like they'll take, like fill Africa with black people, and the next time it'll be full of white people. Well, we know, we've got the pictures that it used to be full of white people, right? And then the next narrative will be, oh no, black people come from the snow, and the reason they're black is because of this and because they're in the snow. And it'll be completely opposite to the white people with blonde hair saying, oh, they're that color because of the snow. And they just, because this is a thing.
But it's funny that it's even color when it's like, or was that group only 2 feet tall, and was that group 20 feet tall over this time period, right? Because you look into it, and really, who the F knows what's going on, and there's evidence for everything being possible. Like, it's insane.
It's just mad.
But another thing, I've been looking at Sumerians as well. When if you have a look at them, they have. If you look at their beards and their eyes, you can see they're of color. You can see curly hair.
Yeah.
And
like the red hair and the blue eyes.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Okay, yeah, right. Yeah, well, I guess, that is generally,
Oh, Paul, you got to do a video on or I don't know if Campbell, if you have either, but on Father Crespi and the Crespi collection in
I haven't
Ecuador,
done one yet, I don't think, but I should.
right? Because it's like he's
Yeah.
got Sumerian, Babylonian, Egyptian, and it's like this is all
Giant.
coming out of Ecuador in the early 1900s.
Yeah, Crespi. Yeah.
And there's like Proto-Greek, there's Proto-Sumerian.
There's also
what's-
bricks that they found around that area that are from I think they're stamped Roman, and they're like, you know, 700 years old or something. But yeah, that's a good story, that one. And that one, I mean, I saw another thing on all the tunnels, like that's kind of linked up to all the underground tunnels as well.
You got it, yeah.
There's a ton of stories, especially in South America, of people falling down tunnels and finding gold and all this kind of stuff. And
there's actually meant to be a tunnel, isn't there, from Scotland to Turkey? There's meant to be a tunnel from Scotland to Turkey, yeah.
Yep, and also they reckon under, like from Europe to South America, like they reckon under the ocean.
100%. I reckon that's how they travelled. I reckon that's how people travelled back then. You know, even it's dangerous going over.
Who knows if they still do? Like,
yeah, well, this is
the
thing.
We are just dancing in this reality, aren't we? We're just ants. We don't know. We're just living on this little farm. We don't know what's going underneath. They're probably getting shot around on hyperloops, mate, everywhere.
If there was a deluge, it's just up to who sort of by chance or whatever came out on top, isn't it? You know, if all the sort of good people got wiped out and the bad people sort of came up but still had the knowledge of what tech was there, and they just took it over and just said, oh no, there's no tech there, there's no tunnels.
Oh, exactly.
We're not traveling around the earth really quickly. No, it doesn't happen.
You know? And it's probably the working actuator that controls the old world tech, probably still based out of the Vatican, and it's like whatever power group knew it from the last one took over there, and that's how they spread their lies and their genocides and their trauma and wiped out all of humans, like collective past history, and put us into this fake realm that we're currently breaking out of.
That's why they shuffle people around, so history gets lost.
Yeah.
Like I was going to say, if you look at London, they moved loads of Asian people into London, so the Cockney man, the history of London's gone.
Yep.
Because like if you ask like someone, if you was to ask an Indian in London anything about history of London, they wouldn't know. No, they're not going to know.
And
you know so I mean, they're going to know their own history.
You know,
and they're not going to be opposed to tearing down that old building next to you either for something new, right?
Yeah.
So
they've moved all the Londoners out. They've all moved out, and then Indian moved in. Not just Indian, it's other races as well.
Yeah.
But you can see why that's done. It's literally just to get rid of that history.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the tradition, and also, that's the thing. In 2 generations, they can just say, "Oh no, this is an Indian country. It's always been Indian." What do you mean? There was never any white people here. No.
Right? Oh, exactly. You know, well, look at Spain, for instance, even, and look at Spain a couple hundred years ago. It was completely under the Muslim caliphate. It was
the more
500 years ago, right before Christopher Columbus.
And it was black basically, But I keep thinking about Australia and the 10-pound POMs. You know, I mean, this is them just controlling populations. You know, it's like, oh no, we're here to, we're going to offer you a better life, and just 10 pounds, but really, they're controlling. It's not like you can get a choice. So you can go to Australia or Hawaii or you're going to Australia because we want more white people there, or we want more whatever English speaking people there, or
It's just like the Windrush in England. It's like the Windrush. I don't know if you heard of that. It was when they brought the Caribbeans over. Yeah, they brought. I think it was the 70s. They brought all the Caribbeans over. Now they're in problems, like claiming benefits and stuff like that, because there's no record of them coming over. But they was just bringing them over, and it's the ones that are affected now are the children of the people who are brought over, because there's no documentation. They can't say, well, I don't know how it works. I've not gone through that process, but I guess if you're applying for a passport, you need to have your father or your father or something like that, and they don't have that information. They can't apply for nothing.
Far out.
So it's a nightmare. Some of these things do tend to bite people in the backside later on in life,
Then again, it could be a good thing not having a birth certificate.
Yeah, I know it's not really a
And
good
then they
thing,
really
is it?
can't prove that you have to pay a fine.
Mm. Well, it's like gypsies, though. They ain't got a birth certificate, but that's
Yeah.
why the media make you hate gypsies and
Exactly.
travellers.
That's what. Exactly. They
But
don't want you to find
Anything
out.
that's the native
in the
culture, they want you to suppress, hate, traumatize, and ignore.
Well, that's the
And
other
divide
thing.
and conquer.
That is the native culture, pretty much, of Europe. Like, it's the Berbers. It's the same. And the Berbers. This is the other thing. The Berbers were from Africa, and they're white and blue-eyed. And that's why it used to be called Barbaria. It was like Berberia. It was a territory of Berbers. And they're now the gypsies. And you look at the people in like Eastern Europe, they all dress the same as the gypsies. You know, they got their head things and the coins, and
Right? Oh yeah.
it's all the same. Yeah. Bloody oath. All right. How are we going for time? We've been going for a while. We didn't even get onto any alchemy.
Right? Yeah. Yeah, probably should get going, my friends.
But yeah, we should definitely do it again and get some pictures sorted out. And get into
yes. I'll have my laptop next time.
Yep, you're cool.
Even tomorrow or whenever.
Yeah.
And I've got loads of stuff on there.
Yeah, let me know when you're free next.
Let's just do it again, same time next week, and we'll have the week to get stuff together. That'll also give you time to do some editing and stuff.
Yeah,
get me
was
into
this
trying
time
to
for you
do some
guys
editing.
Then? Yeah,
Or was it too late?
I'm fine. It's only 7 o'clock here at night at the moment.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
What time is it? Oh.
Nice.
That's all right. I thought it'd be a bit later. Where is it where you are then?
Okay, let's see. What time is it in Bernie land? Bernie is 5:20 a.m. here right now.
Oh, a.m.
What,
really?
in the morning?
Oh yeah, a.m.
Wow, you still look fresh. Like you just like you look alright, mate.
Yeah, I'm a nocturnal wizard, vampire, space creature of who knows what, but
I like your shirt too.
Probably should get going to bed here so I see some daylight tomorrow.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Much love, guys.
Awesome.
All right, one love, Wes.
Yep. Talk to you next week.
Ta-da.
Yep. Dream well. Ta-da.
Ta-da. See you later.
See you guys. Take it easy.